Aloha Internet. The stock market has closed for the trading day of Monday, October 13th, 2025. Let's take a look at the general markets. 1 month from left to right, one candle equals 1 day of trading. These are futures, so they might have some they do have some extended hours. Really quickly to get you oriented or reorientated to this window, allow me to give you a quick tour of all the different instruments that are showing here. Each one again is 1 month from left to right, 1 day per candle, the red or green thing. So right here we have our representative of the dollar. Right here, gold futures, silver futures, Bitcoin futures, oil futures. All four of these are stock market, and then this is the volatility of the stock market. So, really quickly, you see a lot of green for these first three, with silver being hitting over $50, which is around its all-time high back in like 1980. This is the first time it's re-entering in there after in this $50-ish price range after all these years. And then the story you'll hear is something like when the Hunt brothers tried to corner the silver market. But I don't know if that is the most actual accurate way to phrase what happened. It might be. I don't know for sure. I'd like to find out. But it's said as if they were trying to corner the silver market. I don't know exactly like what purpose or to what intent they would get by quote unquote cornering it. Anyways, the this morning we're looking at let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. We see that just like the stock market, it fell. Oil as well, and we were looking this morning to see how quickly is the stock market going to come back, if it is going to come back. Well, here on the Russell looks very strong on the futures of a comeback. It's basically back into this range right in here, bypassed all this price congestion. The Dow not as strong. It's but it seems like everything is growing and going perfect. Same thing over here. It's like on the S&P 500 hitting this resistance right in there. It's giving it a problem. A little bit of problem over here too on the Qs or Nasdaq. And yeah, like nothing that alarms me or nothing that was unexpected for me for the day, which really isn't saying much. But and I say that because I don't know what I mean. I do know what I mean by that, but I'm not sure how to clarify it. Like I think that we shouldn't be surprised on days like today when we have our finger on the pulse of the market. So let's quickly go through the Mag 7, and we went through this morning. This one is an up 3 month uptrend. We see same thing, real similar pattern. The price movement dropped significantly down on Friday, and where is it rebuilding for Apple? Same thing over here for Amazon. Price dropped way down here. Now where is it at rebuilding? But it's still in this sideways range. Same thing here, still in the sideways range. Same thing here. But with Nvidia, we are kind of waiting to see, is it going to re-continue an uptrend, or is it going to continue is it going to maneuver into a sideways trend? We are waiting to see. And Netflix, same things, doing it's kind of right in its sideways price, like right in the thick of that price right now. And Meta, same thing, rebuilding this big red bar. Google really having an update and then continuing to be probably the strongest overall stock in the Mag 7. Apple's looking pretty good. Maybe was was this the time when Tim Cook was giving the president some sort of golden trinket or something? I think it was bigger than a trinket, but I'm not sure what it is. If so, that would be pretty interesting. I'm not sure when that happened. That would be interesting to find out. Nonetheless, Google and Apple seem to be the strongest. Apple seems be a little more volatile than Google overall, so maybe you could say Google seeming the strongest. But overall, out of the Mag 7, we're kind of looking more sideways, and but sideways is not down. So take that for what it's worth. Sideways is not down. And let's take a look at this. We have our S&P 500 representation here via SPY. We have VIX for the stock market volatility, helping us time things. And if you are starting with a lower account, welcome to the One Share Gang, inspired by Phil's gang. So right here, Coca-Cola and Mo, you're looking at around 66.80 and 64.95. These are two Dividend King stocks. They've been consistently raising their annual dividend by a little bit every year for over 50 years. And they're good candidates for a one share portfolio being built one share at a time. Of course, at some point, ideally, you would want to be able to do more than one share at a time. However, there was definitely points in my life where I was a one being in a one share gang would have benefited me. And in a way it is benefiting me right now as I put it together to deliver it to you. So we also have here FCX, which you see is around little under 43. There was a good buying opportunity right back here because of some tragic things that happened because mining is has risks to it. And so when these risks happen, sometimes what happens is this, you get a big drop, big sell off. But look at how quickly the price is back here. It's not exactly back at its high, but it's over whatever that number is, 40. It's like over the 40. It's on the top side of both of these moving averages at the moment. And those are a 9 and a 20 moving average. So we'll see what happens, but I like that one. Strong company, strong fundamentals, and we will compare more of those fundamentals. I've got 5 criteria that will bring up of the Mag 7 and of FCX, Coca-Cola, and Mo. We'll bring those up and get used to looking at enterprise value to EBITDA, gross margin, profit margin, PE, and PEG. Those will be the 5 criteria that we're very acquainted with, and we'll list different stocks by to help make decisions of what we want to do with those stocks, or if it's just simply as a way to monitor more of the fundamental health of the stock market via the Mag 7. So we have those going on. What happened with Tesla today? So we have Tesla. Where are you? Right here. Let's blow up Tesla. All right. So Tesla basically had an update. I think we're going to see I think this is going to be similar through quite a few stocks, is hitting through being in some moving averages like this. So Tesla, I'm actually short calls at 580, way up there. that have been short for a while, and they're getting ready to expire, I think, in 2 weeks. Looks like it's high probability of expiring worthless. It's Tesla. What did Palantir do today? Uh, like not too far off from what we saw with Tesla, right? Tesla, the moving averages were more converged together, and the price action was like more overlapping the moving averages. But nonetheless, we're seeing this similar thing happening here, which shouldn't be surprising to us because if you look at these moving averages, they're beginning to move sideways, right? They were going up, they were going up. Pardon me, they were going up. Started kind of moving together here as price dropped down. So the price might bounce around wherever it might bounce around, not sure, but for a little while, it might become sideways until it starts moving more definitively up or down. And as I was alluding to, I don't think I completely finished the thought. We shouldn't be surprised to it because five out of the seven of the Mag 7 are going sideways. So we should be somewhat prepared to at least not be surprised when we see stocks moving sideways. Hood. This one has been very, very good to trade. This looks stronger and a stronger bull to me than Palantir or Tesla at the moment, right? We're just looking at a 3-year 1 day, but this is really a pretty strong stock, and this is a good one if you have a bigger bit of a bankroll for the one share gang. This is a good one to um, be actively trading. The Dividend Kings FCX, that's one that you can pretty much set it and forget it in a way if you buy at a good price. This is one that doesn't pay dividends, hasn't been around as long. It's probably going to be around. It's probably going to be one of these, oh, I wish I would have bought it when it was 10 cents, and then someday maybe I wish I would have bought it when it was 150. But I can't really guarantee that. It probably will be something like that. Nonetheless, there's one thing that you can do is time these entries with something like Hood and see how it like bounced up, kind of pulls back to these moving averages, went up, kind of pulls back here, boom, has this big shot up, that, and then it kind of pulls back a bit here, and then it kind of does that again. It's probably going to have a shoot up again. I don't know. I would say in the next 3 to 6 months, I wouldn't be surprised if Hood got up to 155. I mean, it almost hit 155 one, two, three, four, five, 6 trading days ago. Now, what day is that exactly? We could figure it out. But guess what? Look at this calendar doesn't pull up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just going to go with 6 trading days ago. It was up here almost at 155. So if you bought it around here at, let's say, 140, 140 and a half, roughly, 141, somewhere in there, and you sold it for 150, you're making a couple bucks. It's not anything super exciting, but another way it is something super exciting because if you're making $0 by trading stocks and now you're making consistently figuring out how to look at charts and make $7, seven is a significantly more powerful number than zero. And it's not because it's seven, it's because of what zero is. In fact, $1 is a significantly more powerful number than zero in this game because zero means no points. Seven means 7 points. And if you don't know how to score 1 point, scoring seven is pretty good. And of course, we want to score thousands of points. But the reality is, until you've scored 1 point and you're consistently scoring points, it's all theory. And to really play the game, you got to really score the points. Let me get off that for the bubble stock market show. It's enough of that. We'll talk about the point stuff later. For some people, you might just be getting familiar with what we have going on here. We've got 3 different windows. One is labeled anything. We have one that's markets, Now, this is going to switch between markets daily and markets monthly, and there's even a markets weekly, but it's only labeled as markets. Today's Monday. Let's take a look at weekly. So this is 9 months from left to right, and each candle, the red or green thing, represents 1 week. And we this morning we looked at um, monthly charts. Now we were looking at daily charts, and now we're looking at weekly charts. This is a pretty interesting time frame because we're really seeing a lot of data. 9 months from left to right, each 1 week. So when we look at the four stock market futures overall, I mean, it looks bullish, right? We have Here's the volatility of the stock market. There obviously was a big spike here, and I think I'm going to stick with, as I thought in the beginning of the year, that this is going to be make volatility great again, and it does seem to be that volatility is being made great again this year. So thus we have what's reflecting here in the VIX, and oil is still low. It's still like over 9 months. It went down. It went down. At some point, there are going to be good deals in oil related companies. The ExxonMobil is a really big one. Chevron, like look at the really big ones, and then if you're already familiar with how, look up their enterprise value to EBITDA, gross margin, profit margin, PE, and PEG, and start getting familiar with the fundamentals of some of these companies, because and the dividend payout yields, like ExxonMobil is in the, I think, dividend, not a dividend king, but a dividend aristocrat. Anyways, there'll be some deals flowing through there in the energy sector. Bitcoin over the last 9 months, we see it had this sell off down here, and then overall it's been in a bullish trend. And this one day of trading on Friday, we're like everything else. We're waiting to see how long does it take to rebuild that red bar. It's probably going to get stuck a little bit in here. That's why it's slowing down the momentum right in there. Silver just ignored this at the moment. Um, this is the first day of this candle, but as far as repairing the damage, that's where it's at right now. We'll see how it closes at the end of the week, but these two are definitely having their year. And the dollar looks like it's kind of starting to poke up here. I don't know how well the moving averages work with with the dollar, but they're on here nonetheless. So that's what we have going on, and I think. Oh, let's take a look at. Let's see. Let's take a look at unemployment. Let's see if um, if the unemployment has been updated. Unemployment date here. August. It's still on August. Man, this thing, unless there's a more updated, it says updated over here, September 5th, but here's August. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but this is good to have a pulse on. And we'll close off the bubble stock market show by talking about passive flows, the Mike Green perspective. And part of that is money that's passively being invested into the markets. Some of that money can come from retirement things, 401ks, and things like that. So, unemployment, if unemployment spikes up and it remains, maybe spiking isn't the right word, but if unemployment rises there is some point where it can start rising high enough that it would start compromising passive flows flowing in the way that they're currently flowing in. It would start giving some of those a draw. And how much would the stock market be affected? I'm not saying that it would. I'm saying that it could be, and how much would it be affected? Maybe there's other components of money flowing into the stock market via something like the um, fiscal or monetary things, and somehow money gets there's different flow of money going in. So even if the unemployment rate was um, going down, there's still money flowing in, which might help keep up stock prices, financial asset prices. However, that is a separate thing from the quality of a life people are experiencing. And with things like this, with a bubble stock market show, it's easy for sometimes for disagreements to come up because sometimes these things are blurring together, like just a number in the stock market and then the quality of life that people are experiencing on a whole. And it's probably a conversation for a different episode, but it's nice to bring up and say, hey, this is part of the stock market. So welcome to the Bubbles Stock Market Show. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Aloha.